Question 1. With respect to the Fair Credit Reporting Act of HRCI, a company is expanding its pre-employment background screening to include credit checks. Samantha, the HR director, instructs recruiters to obtain reports and proceed with rejections based solely on credit history without informing applicants. What is the most critical legal risk with this practice? A. Failing to document internal selection criteria. B. Not acquiring a signed employment contract beforehand. C. Violating pre-adverse action notice requirements. D. Ignoring EOC recommendations on hiring decisions. Answer. Correct answer, C. Explanation. Under the HRCI, employers must provide a pre-adverse action notice including a copy of the report and a summary of rights before taking negative action based on credit history. Samantha's approach skips this essential step, creating legal exposure, while EOC guidance, option D, offers broader advice on disparate impact. It is not the specific statutory violation. See 15 U.S. Code SS 1681. Question 2. The development of a matrix organizational structure in an international firm has caused confusion among employees about reporting relationships. Multiple managers now give conflicting instructions, causing tension and inefficiency. What is the most effective HR intervention in this scenario? A. Recommend reducing headcount to minimize overlapping roles. B. Conduct a cross-functional workshop on accountability. C. Revert to a traditional functional hierarchy. D. Launch an anonymous feedback platform to surface complaints. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Matrix structures inherently involve dual reporting layers. HR should facilitate clarity through cross-functional alignment. Option B. Ensuring accountability and collaboration, reducing staff A, or reverting structures. C. Avoids the problem without solving it. Feedback tools. D. Help identify issues but don't resolve accountability confusion. C. ARM by of competency and knowledge. BOC organizational effectiveness. Question 3. Given the circumstances, Mr. Carlos Gomez, an HR manager, is under pressure to fill 15 roles within 2 weeks due to a sudden contract award. To expedite the process, he skips structured interviews and relies on gut instinct. What is the most critical issue with Carlos's approach? A. It violates the Fair Labor Standards Act FLSA. B. It may create adverse impact in selection practices. C. It limits the use of cost-effective recruitment channels. D. It goes against best practices in onboarding. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Relying on intuition instead of validated methods raises risk of adverse impact. Disparate outcomes for protected groups. While not illegal per se, such practices can violate Title Roman of the Civil Rights Act if statistical imbalance occur. FLSAA pertains to wages, not selection. Onboarding. D is downstream. C. Uniform Guidelines on Employee Selection Procedures 1978. Question 4. To better understand employee turnover trends, an HR analyst proposes creating a predictive model using exit interviews and demographic data. However, senior management is hesitant due to concerns over data use. What is the HR professional's best response? A. Argue that data ownership resides solely with HR. B. Discontinue the project due to privacy risks. C. Explain how anonymized data mitigates privacy issues. D. Request legal permission to use all employee records. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Anonymizing data is the best practice to protect privacy while enabling analytics. This aligns with GDPR principles and U.S. data ethics frameworks. Ownership arguments and legal overrides. D. Miss the collaborative nature of compliance. Discontinuing the initiative. B. Ignores value add potential. C. EOC at HRM guidelines on people analytics. Question 5. During the process of investigating a whistleblower claim, an HR generalist discovers the whistleblower is also under investigation for minor attendance violations. Leadership pressures HR to terminate the employee to send a message. What is the most ethical HR response? A. Follow leadership direction to preserve internal order. B. Delay any action until all investigations are complete. C. Notify legal counsel and recommend suspension of all cases. D. Proceed with termination due to pattern of violations. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Retaliation against whistleblowers is A direct violation of SOX and OSHA whistleblower protections. HR must maintain impartiality and ensure no perception of retaliation. Delaying action ensures fairness. Legal escalation (c) may be prudent, but action timing is key. See 29 CFR Part 1980, Sarbanes-Oxley Act, Section 806. Question 6. What factors contribute to the failure of many corporate training programs to improve performance outcomes despite high investment? A. Lack of instructor certification. B. Failure to apply adult learning principles. C. Limited classroom space for training delivery. D. Inadequate test scores on post-training quizzes. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Effective programs are grounded in adult learning theory, andragogy, emphasizing relevance, experience, and problem solving. Without this, retention and application suffer. Instructor certification A doesn't ensure application, and facilities C are peripheral. Test scores D may not reflect behavior change. C. Knowles Principles of Adult Learning, Kirkpatrick Model, Levels 1-4. Question 7. Demonstrated by the recent changes in EOC enforcement priorities, a company that uses blanket criminal background checks during recruitment is likely to face scrutiny. Why is this practice problematic? A. It fails to verify education and licensing credentials. B. It violates the Equal Pay Act of 1963. C. It may result in disparate impact discrimination. D. It reduces the candidate pool without consent. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Blanket exclusions based on criminal records may disproportionately affect certain groups, violating tighter home and are not job-related and consistent with business necessity. This is clarified in the EOC Enforcement Guidance 2012. Equal Pay Act. B. Is unrelated. Credential issues A. And candidate pool D. Concerns are not legal violations. C. EOC Guidance on Arrest and Conviction Records. Question 8. In a modern context of remote work, Alicia, the HR benefits manager, is revising healthcare plan options. She removes coverage options that do not apply to telework employees, assuming it increases efficiency. What is a likely compliance risk in Alicia's decision? A. Misinterpreting COBRA notice obligations. B. Creating a non-compliant Section 125 plan. C. Violating the principle of equal access to benefits. D. Ignoring FLA reinstatement rules. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Benefits must be equitable and non-discriminatory under HRCI and ERS Section 125 guidelines. Modifying access based on work arrangement may result in discrimination. COBRA A and FLA D are not directly implicated. Plan structure B is relevant but not the core issue. C. HRCI Title I. Part 7, 26 U.S. Code SS 125. Question 9. Across different scenarios, change initiatives fail when leadership underestimates employee resistance. A company plans to implement a AI-based performance evaluation system, but employees fear job replacement and bias. What should HR prioritize to ensure adoption? A. Run an executive-only pilot program. B. Frame change as inevitable and enforce adoption. C. Facilitate dialogue sessions and change agents. D. Outsource communication to marketing. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. According to Kotter's change model, engagement, transparency, and change agents are key. HR must acknowledge resistance and co-create solutions. Top-down enforcement. B. Deepens distrust. Executive pilots. A. May alienate staff. Outsourcing. D. Ignores HR's critical communication role. C. John Kotter's 8-step model. Pruskai's ACAR framework. Question 10. Upon closer examination, a company using forced ranking systems has seen increased turnover and legal complaints. Managers are required to rank 10% of employees as low performers annually. What is the most likely root cause of these outcomes? A. The absence of a disciplinary policy. B. Violations of FLSA overtime regulations. C. Inherent subjectivity and perceived unfairness. D. Inconsistent use of KPIS in hiring. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Forced ranking can create hostile work environments and lawsuits, especially when low ratings are not performance-based. It erodes trust. often leading to constructive discharge claim. FLSA. B is unrelated. KPSD are hiring tools not core to this issue. C. EOP guidance on discriminatory practice showing best practices in performance systems. Question 11. The development of a succession plan at a rapidly growing mid-sized company has highlighted gaps in leadership bench strength. The current plan focuses mainly on executive-level positions without considering mid-level leaders. HR Director Jenna proposes expanding the scope. What is the primary risk of maintaining such a narrow succession focus? A. It can result in leadership pipeline interruptions. B. It increases employer liability for promotion bias. C. It hinders union negotiations. D. It leads to excessive payroll budgeting. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. Limiting succession planning to top leadership ignores the vital middle layer, often key in executing strategic goals. Lack of depth in the pipeline jeopardizes continuity. Promotion bias. B. Relates to process fairness, not scope. Union impact. C. Is minimal unless explicitly bargained. Budgeting. D. Isn't directly tied to scope. C. ARM succession planning toolkit. Question 12. From a practical standpoint, HR business partner Malik is embedded with the IT department. Tensions arise when HR suggests coaching interventions for productivity, but leadership pushes back, seeing it as intrusive. Which strategy should Malik prioritize to improve collaboration? A. Establish a clear service level agreement (SA). B. Escalate the conflict to the EO. C. Initiate 360-degree reviews for all its staff. D. Conduct sensitivity training immediately. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. SLA defines roles, expectations, and boundaries, reducing perception of overreach and reinforcing HR's value. Escalation. B. Undermines relationship building. 360 reviews. C. Are premature. Sensitivity training. D. May be perceived as punitive. C. ARM collaboration and influence competency model. Question 13. In light of recent developments, a company discovers that Marcus, a tenured employee, violated the Internet Poly. HR prepares a termination recommendation, but past violations for others went undocumented. What principle should HR apply to ensure fairness and legal defensibility? A. The severity of the misconduct. B. The consistency of enforcement. C. The speed of investigation. D. The cost of replacement. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Consistency is key to avoiding discrimination claims and ensuring fair treatment. Uneven enforcement opens the company to title Roman or wrongful termination claims. Severity A matters, but unequal discipline creates legal exposure. Investigation speed C and costs D are secondary. C. EOC enforcement. Guidance on disciplinary practices. Question 14. To illustrate this point, Tina, an HR manager, learns that the company's 401k plan automatically enrolls employees but does not provide opt-out communication. Several employees complain they were unaware. What regulation has the company most likely failed to comply with? A. ERN on discrimination testing rules. B. The FLSA wage deferral clauses. C. ERISA automatic enrollment notice requirements. D. COBRA continuation obligations. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Under ERISA and the Pension Protection Act, employers using automatic enrollment must provide a notice describing contributions, investment options, and opt-out procedures. Failure violates fiduciary duties. COBRA D is unrelated. FLSA B governs wage rules. C. Focus on plan fairness. C. 29 CFRS 2550.445. Question 15. During the process of evaluating a new assessment tool for candidate screening, an HR specialist discovers that scores are consistently lower for older applicants. What should be the HR professional's primary concern? A. Possible violation of the IDEA. B. The cost of the assessment tool. C. Tool incompatibility with software. D. The need for supervisor training. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. Age Discrimination in Employment Act (IDEA) protects applicants aged 40 plus. If the tool results in a disparate impact, it may violate federal law unless it's job-related and consistent with business necessity. Cost. B is secondary. Its compatibility. C is tech concern. Supervisor training. D doesn't address legal risk. C. 29 U.S. Code SS 623. Question 16. What would happen if a corporate learning program used only lectures and PowerPoints for skills-based training? A. Employees would learn faster due to structure. B. The program may ignore key adult learning principles. C. Learning would improve due to repetition. D. Compliance requirements would automatically be met. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Adult learners need engagement, relevance, and practical application. Passive formats like lectures alone conflict with Knowles' andragogy principles. Repetition. C. Helps but doesn't guarantee learning. Compliance. D. Needs specific measurable components. C. Knowles' adult learning. PHR learning best practices. Question 17. The most significant aspect of the Equal Pay Act is its requirement for what? A. Equal pay for work of equal value. B. Gender-based wage transparency policies. C. Market-based compensation benchmarks. D. Wage parity based on education. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. The EPA 1963 mandates equal pay for equal work requiring substantially similar skill, effort, and responsibility regardless of gender, market, or education differences. C. D. Can't justify disparity unless bona fide factor exists. Transparency. B. Is helpful, not required by EPA. C. 29 U.S. Code SS 206D. Question 18. Taking into account the quarterly reviews at Harper Logistics show only positive ratings, HR suspects that managers avoid constructive feedback. This leads to stagnant employee growth. Which HR strategy best addresses this issue? A. Replace managers unwilling to confront poor performance. B. Integrate 360-degree feedback into the performance process. C. Incentivize only top ratings to encourage motivation. D. Eliminate all reviews and adopt continuous coaching. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. 360-degree feedback captures insights from peers, reports, and managers, reducing halo bias and enhancing credibility. Replacing managers. A. Is extreme. Incentivizing positive scores. C. Reinforces the problem. Coaching. D. Is valuable but should complement, not replace, structured feedback. C. ARM Performance Management Toolkit. Question 19. Throughout the course of data integration a new TRIS and HRIS specialist notices duplicate records from legacy systems. There's no audit trail, and some data fields are incomplete. What should be the HR professional's immediate priority? A. Proceed with deployment and fix errors post-launch. B. Review data privacy regulations and implement cleanup protocol. C. Focus on training users on new input formats. D. Automate error detection post-implementation. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Data accuracy and privacy compliance under laws DDR and HIPAA if applicable demand thorough cleansing. Audit trails support accountability. Launching without validation. A. Risks data breaches and errors. Training. C. And automation. D. Help, but only after cleaning is prioritized. C. ISO 27001, NIST SP 80053 for data integrity. Question 20. The correlation between leadership communication and employee engagement has been repeatedly demonstrated. At Oranger Tech, internal surveys show low engagement and perception of executive disconnect. What is the most strategic action HR can take? A. Distribute more frequent email updates from the EO. B. Launch mandatory video announcements for all employees. C. Facilitate skip-level meetings between employees and executives. D. Introduce engagement-based bonuses for executives. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Skip-level meetings increase visibility, trust, and a sense of connection. Critical to engagement. Passive updates. A. B. Lack dialogue. Bonuses. D. May create extrinsic motivation without fixing communication gaps. C. Gallup Q engagement framework, SRM engagement and retention standards. Question 21. In response to increasing public scrutiny, a global organization wants to improve representation in leadership roles. HRCI is tasked with implementing a diversity program, but the legal team warns about potential quota-related liability. Which strategy should HRCI use to align legal compliance with their goals? A. Establish mandatory hiring quotas for underrepresented groups. B. Offer diverse candidate slates for all open leadership roles. C. Restrict their efforts to internal training and awareness only. D. Create incentive bonuses tied to demographic metrics. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Requiring diverse slates avoids illegal quotas while still improving representation. The EOC allows affirmative recruitment efforts that do not result in preferential treatment. Quotas A. May violate Titleomen onuses. D. May encourage tokenism without legal footing. C. EOC Compliance Manual. Section 15. Race and color discrimination. Question 22. By evaluating several HRCI platforms, HR Director Linda aims to streamline benefits administration and track turnover trends. However, the legacy system lacks real-time reporting or integration with payroll. Which HRCI feature should be the top priority in selecting a new system? A. Customizable dashboards for employee self-service. B. Integrated analytics with real-time data reporting. C. Custom branding for internal HR portals. D. Onboarding templates aligned with company culture. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Real-time analytics are crucial for strategic HR decision-making and forecasting. They support API monitoring and evidence-based HR. Self-service A and branding. C. Enhance experience but don't address data challenges. Onboarding templates. D. Irrelevant but not strategic in this case. C. Aerometris Evaluation Guide ISO 25010 Software Quality Standards. Question 23. When presented with conflicting reports about a hostile interaction between two employees, HR manager Ahmed initiates interviews. One party claims discrimination and the other cites performance issues. What should Ahmed do to ensure a fair and legally defensible resolution? A. Rely on past performance records to determine credibility. B. Assign both employees to different departments immediately. C. Launch a neutral investigation and document all findings. D. Defer to the manager who supervises both parties. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. A neutral, well-documented investigation is essential to address claims of discrimination and protect against EOC retaliation claims. Premature transfers, B, or assumptions based on history A could create legal risk. Deference to a manager D without inquiry undermines impartiality. C. EOC Enforcement Guidance on Retaliation and Discrimination 2016. Question 24. The foundation of a strategic training plan lies in understanding where gaps exist between current and desired performance. An organization with rising customer complaints seeks a solution. What should HR do first before recommending training programs? A. Implement new customer service training immediately. B. Analyze complaint trends and root causes. C. Replace staff not meeting customer satisfaction scores. D. Introduce mandatory performance coaching. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. A training needs analysis. TNA begins with diagnosing the issue without identifying root causes. Training may miss the mark. Customer dissatisfaction may stem from systems, not skills. Replacing staff. C. Or jumping to coaching. D. Without analysis is premature. C. Any model. Analysis phase HRM Learning System Module 3. Question 25. From the perspective of pay equity and performance accountability, a company plans to reevaluate its compensation structure. However, most job descriptions are outdated or inconsistent. What should HR prioritize to ensure compliance and accuracy? A. Conduct market surveys to adjust pay bands. B. Review payroll records for wage gap analysis. C. Perform a comprehensive job analysis first. D. Outsource the pay structure to compensation consultants. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Job analysis is foundational for compensation design, performance metrics, and legal compliance under FLSA and Equal Pay Act. Without updated job data, pay structures risk misalignment. Market surveys, they come after internal clarity. C. US Department of Labor Job Analysis Guidelines, RM Job Evaluation Toolkit. Question 26. Contrary to popular belief, simply outsourcing payroll does not eliminate employer responsibility. HR Officer Jake receives notice that several employees were misclassified and denied overtime. What is Jake's most immediate responsibility? A. Notify the payroll vendor and escalate legal claims. B. Audit internal classifications and correct errors. C. Reissue payment only to employees who file complaints. D. Implement weekly time tracking approvals. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. The employer, not the vendor, is legally liable under FLSA for misclassification. Jake must promptly correct job classifications and calculate back wages. Vendors assist, but liability remains. C. 29 CFR Part 540 on FLSA Fact Sheet number 13. Question 27. In the absence of a formal internal mobility policy, many employees at Novatech resigned to pursue growth elsewhere. HR wants to encourage internal career development while supporting business goals. Which strategy best addresses this need? A. Require managers to approve all transfers. B. Offer rotational programs and skill mapping tools. C. Limit job postings to external candidates. D. Tie promotions strictly to tenure. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Rotational programs and career mapping empower employees to visualize career paths and gain broad experience. These tools increase retention and engagement. Restrictive options. A. C. D. Hinder development and conflict with modern talent mobility strategies. C. HRCI career development guidelines, Busin talent mobility research. Question 20. Examining the consequences of an overemphasis on numeric KPIs, the company notices declining collaboration and trust. Sales reps avoid helping peers due to competition for bonuses. What should HR recommend to address this unintended consequence? A. Eliminate variable pay and enforce fixed salaries. B. Add collaboration metrics to performance reviews. C. Mandate team building workshops quarterly. D. Increase competition to push performance higher. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Integrating behavioral and collaborative goals ensures alignment with organizational values and team performance. Metrics must support culture, not undermine it. Fixed salaries. A. Remove motivation. Workshops. C. Help, but systemic change is needed. So ARM performance management standards, balanced scorecard framework. Question 29. With the advent of new artificial intelligence tools in-house, HR teams are considering automation of candidate screening and performance tracking. Some staff express concern about bias. What should HR do to maintain ethical standards during implementation? A. Disable all automated features until audits are done. B. Provide transparency on how AI systems make decisions. C. Allow only it to manage the tools without HR input. D. Use AI for hiring only, not for performance metrics. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Transparency is a core principle in ethical AI. HR must ensure systems are explainable and auditable. The EOC and FTC warn against black box systems that may produce discriminatory outcomes. Auditing is key, but stopping tools entirely may block innovation. See EOC Technical Assistance on AI and Title Roman 2023. Question 30. The development of a new health and wellness program was met with low participation at HealthPro Inc. Despite generous funding and executive support, HR Director Naomi wants to diagnose why. What is the most effective first step? A. Offer cash incentives to drive short-term participation. B. Partner with insurance providers for discounts. C. Conduct an employee needs assessment survey. D. Make participation mandatory for premium discounts. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Without understanding employee needs and barriers, program design may miss the mark. A needs assessment enables data-informed decisions aligned with actual interest and utilization patterns. Incentives may boost engagement temporarily, but don't address root causes. C. CDC Workplace Health Promotion Guide, our wellness program toolkit.